Today, we are talking about your financial fitness. The start of a new year, everyone's working out and trying to eat right, but making sure your finances are in good shape, well, that should not be overlooked. So joining us today is Gary Beckman, Senior Vice President and Wealth Management for Morgan Stanley. Welcome so much to 10 TV here. This is such a huge topic for everyone.
Thank you for having me.
It's also an overwhelming topic, I think, Gary, when you talk finances. It's February. I feel like the month's already gone by already for January. So let's start with these first steps. You talk about some easy ways people can get through their finances. Review everything, make sure you're on track with your goals, revisit your budget. That's always a huge one in my house. Tackle your debt and update your insurance plans and estate. So let's start with reviewing your investments. What do I need to look at?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing at the beginning of the year, make sure your ducks are lined up in a row. You want to be able to maximize your savings. Make sure if you're participating in a 401k, that you're getting your match if it's available to you, as well as other goals that you may have, whether it's college funding, things like that, short-term goals that come up that may be, family events, vacations, things like that.
Weddings, things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that those are within the budget and that they're part of the plan, and making sure that everything is lined up so that you don't have to panic at the last second and try and scramble to figure out the solution.
So that's step one. What about step two? Making sure you're on track with your goal. Let's say my goal is to retire in 5 years, right? Like what are the steps I should be looking at to make sure I am on track to get that?
Well, first and foremost, you have to be realistic about those goals.
So you're saying I'm not retiring in 5 years, okay.
Maybe, but if you want to retire in 5 years, you have to assess the plan. You have to look at where you are. You have to look at your allocation. And you have to make some assumptions. Nothing is carved in stone. So when you're reviewing your plan, if you have equity exposure, if you have fixed income exposure, you want to also take a look at the risk exposure that you have, because the markets are volatile. We saw that a lot last year.
And also how much I'm contributing, because laws have changed, right?
Absolutely, yes. That is one of the big ones for this year. For those that are participating in a 401k, if you're over 50 years old, you are eligible for the $8,000 catch-up. And if you're between the ages of 60 to 63 years old, you can contribute an additional $11,250. So you have to make sure that your plan allows for those. Also, you want to make sure that if with that $8,000 catch-up, anyone who's making over $150,000 of Social Security income, that portion has to go into a Roth 401k.
That's the new law. Okay,
yes.
Going forward. I know household budget, tackling debt, that's always something like mom and dad have said to me for years, and every parent has said that for decades. So we're going to talk about updating insurance plans and estate plans, because something's changed with that as well, right, with the life insurance?
Well, life insurance, the cost of life insurance has actually gone down over the years. People are living a bit longer. The insurance companies are holding your money longer. But healthcare insurance, long-term care insurance is still dramatically, and it's still going up dramatically. It's outpacing inflation. So that is something you want to make sure that you can quantify within your plan. You should definitely talk with an advisor about how you're situated for that. When you are retired, your spending habits change. You're going to have more time, you're going to spend a little bit more doing leisure activities, but then when you get older, typically when you're in your 80s, the costs start to go up again because you have healthcare costs that really start to go through the roof. And as you're living longer, that's also going to give you more potential for problems to arise during that lifespan.
Health-wise, for sure. Gary, I do want to end with this. You talked a little bit about the market volatility. We saw huge roller coasters in 2025. How does watching that volatility for 26 factor into this whole big plan?
Well, addressing those concerns, the markets are always going to be volatile. You see so much happening in the world, whether it's currently the interest rate cutting cycle that we're in, whether or not they're going to cut rates, keep them where they are, a lot of geopolitical risks. We've seen what happened with Venezuela, what's going on with Iran. That can affect not just the markets, but specific stocks as well, or specific holdings and energy prices. Because these are countries that can affect oil. You also have the AI demand and construction of the data centers and the power needs that are not yet met in the infrastructure. So energy companies, oil companies, with interest rates, financial companies, that affects mortgages, loans, credit cards, everything that can hit your back pocket.
Yeah. So how do we weather that storm? Do you stay the course, or do you react when those things happen?
Well, you need to see where you are. Typically, the prudent thing has been, if you own quality, ride out the volatility. If you're speculating, then you're relying a lot more on risk. And if it works for you, then you're relying on luck. And I don't want to rely on luck. I would rather be good than lucky. So
true.
So addressing these concerns, look at your plan, see how you're situated. You might have a lot of volatility, which is not necessarily the same as risk. The prices of things will go up and down. I promise, they will go up and down.
Well, Gary Beckman, thank you so much for joining us. I know one thing's for sure, I'm not retiring in 5 years, but this is great advice.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.